Hi.
Hi, y'all. Liz here, and you are at Smart Business Moves. I have two guests today, y'all. How exciting is that? Tom can't be here because he's off doing his event in Washington, D.C., but we have Martha Woodward, who y'all know, and also Dom Williams. So I'm going to let them give a quick intro about who they are before we get started on today's topic of the value of work retreats. So, Martha, you want to go first and let everybody know a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure, sure. Martha Woodward. I owned a cleaning business in another state for 13 years. I started quality driven software with Maria Dorian. She's on to bigger and better things. And that's all I'm going to say about me.
Yeah. All right. So, Martha, why don't you put in the chat for me, the private chat, any email addresses, I'm not email, web addresses that you want me to share. I think people are going to want to know for sure more about quality driven and probably going to want to hear about the event coming up, etc.
Sure.
And then I'll share those. And then
I'll do
Dom.
that.
Hey, Denise.
Yeah. So my name's
Denise.
Dom Williams, founder CEO of CNC Cleaning Services. We're a residential and commercial cleaning company in central Indiana. We cover all of Indiana for commercial, and we also have most recently expanded into the state of Michigan. We just acquired a cleaning company there within the past 2 months. So yeah, that's what I do. I'm in the home service industry.
Oh, that's fun. I didn't know you were, I mean, how would I know? But I didn't know you moved into Michigan.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
So we have two offices there. We have one in Millington, which is about 20, 30 minutes near Flint. And then we have another one that's way up north. It's called Grayling, Michigan. I've actually never been to that office. But we cover the whole state of Michigan, though. It's only commercial.
I have a lot of relatives in Michigan. I grew up there for a short time.
Yeah.
So I know it this much because I was still a little kid when I moved out. All right. So, y'all, Martha, your event that's coming up is the thing that made me think this would be such a great topic. Huge in our industry, I think that people way overwork. And we have a lot of stressed out people and a lot of people who think it's completely normal to work 70-hour weeks, right? We see that a lot.
I'm
And
looking at Dom
I
over
don't work
there.
70 hours.
I mean, I think there's a time and a place too. Like you're growing your business, right? You're in the thick of it. You're putting all the time, the effort, you're doing that. But then when you're just, it's a 60, 70, 80-hour weeks for years on end and you're not taking any time off, that can wear on you in a big way. So, and I know you have always put value in the idea of doing more than just work. So, I mean, you always have. So I thought maybe you could talk to us just a little bit about the value that you see and how you do it and why and all that good stuff.
I was waiting for you to be saying, I know you have always goofed off and not done your work. Which is a little bit true, but anyway, yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty nostalgic right now because this will be our last retreat, and Dom told me something that I didn't know until we were in North Carolina together. Can I share that?
I don't know what you're about to share. Gosh.
Well,
Whisper, Martha. It'll be fine.
Oh, did I give you credit for my success, Marty?
you did. I was shocked.
Oh, yeah. Share that. That's good stuff.
But so I think that way back when I was lucky enough to find people to follow and people that I really respected and connected with more than just for business, and that's been a big part of my career, is those connections and everything, and super, super important. And I think that's why I kind of went into the conference slash retreat space, is just creating, like, there were the educational sessions, but there weren't like the experiences tied in with it, at least to my liking. And so anyway, that's one reason that we started doing conferences way back when, and really focusing on not only the educational part, because I always hate when people say, oh yeah, it's a good party, blah, blah, blah. Well, we put a lot of work into the educational part, but yes, we have a really good time. And so you are correct, Liz. I've always liked to balance. And but what Dom told me, which really shocked me, but he came to the conference in Tulsa, which was our first official one. And he told me that that changed the trajectory of his business.
Ooh.
And I think it's just getting in a room. Well, you explain it, Dom.
Yeah. So when if I can recall, before I ever met Marty, I call Martha Marty, by the way. And I can't switch it up on this call either. So before I met Marty, and before like I really understood what quality driven software was, anything like that, before I ever knew about a Liz Trotter or Tom or any of you guys, it was this quality driven event. And I remember my business was probably at like $200,000 a year. It was me and my mom. Our office was the size of my lobby, probably. And, we were doing $200,000 in sales. I was working another job and, just getting by. And I saw this event and we said, Mom, we're going to Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we rented a car. I can remember it. We had like this really, really nice, fast Challenger that we drove down. And about I think a 4, 5, 6 hour drive. So it wasn't bad. And I get there and I start meeting all these people in the cleaning industry. And like at that moment, it really clicked like, oh my gosh, there's a community of people that are doing the same thing that I'm doing. And they're really successful at it. Right. So that was, I think I might've met Kyle there at that one, or I met him the next one, either or. Marlo. I mean, just everybody that we know, like that's in our community, in our space. That's where I started meeting those people. I was introduced to Service Autopilot at that conference, which changed the business forever. Because although we don't use Service Autopilot today, I understood the power of what a software could actually do for your business. So there were probably at least 3 to 4, if not more, connections and concepts that I was able to implement in my business by being at your event, Marty, that made my cleaning business what it is today. So I will say for this particular business, Marty, you had a huge impact on where we're at.
That's nice.
And you know what? I bet a lot of people could say that, Martha. I mean, I bet if we had, 10 people on here, they would all be saying, oh my gosh, so true. Me too. Just a huge impact. I've heard so many people say, not that exact thing, but very similar things about your events, which is surprising when I heard that this was going to be your last one. That is what? Tell us about that.
Oh man, you know this, Liz. They're stressful. They're stressful to put on, and I love parts of putting on an event. I don't love having I feel like my business up for collateral, every time it's scary.
Yeah.
It is scary that you have to put your signature on a lot of money and then hit those numbers and drive your friends and family on Facebook crazy with all of your sales posts.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
I know. But and when I went into it in my head, I will tell you that I thought it was my 10th year. And so before I went live, and I was already in StreamYard ready to go live, and I had written them all down, and I'm like, wait, that's just 9. And I recounted, and there was a second there. I was like, well, crap.
I'm gonna
I
have
have
to
to
do
do
one more.
another one. Yeah. But then I'm like, no. It's just 9. We're just doing 9. But yeah, and I feel like we're going out with a bang in that it's going to be way different than the others. It will be more similar to when we went to Cancun, but hardly anybody was there because it was COVID. It was January 21. And but that was fun, wasn't it, Dom?
It was very fun.
And like Megan said, she really liked that because it was workshop style like this one, where you actually went back, and instead of like a list of things to do, you had a lot of it done. Like she implemented the well, wait, was it hire who or
Who hire?
Yeah.
It's
Whatever
who hire.
it was when Dom was there and the HR settings and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, we can talk more about that. But Dom and Megan are in charge of all the education this year.
Yeah, I heard from them when they were asking, hey, do you want to be a speaker? I was like, I didn't even talk to you about any of it. I was booked through them, and never even had anything. So I would think they made it easier for you, easy enough that you can do it one more time.
Yeah. You're so funny. You're so funny. The funny thing is,
let's talk about some of those speakers that we did pick out, because actually there's a couple that we could highlight and kind of talk about like what they're going to be touching on.
Okay, keep us on track, Dom. Yeah.
Because what?
But also we want to talk about the other stuff too, because that's kind of the big thing is that, and Dom, I'm guessing that this would be true for you, that you saw when you went to that very first event of Martha's that, you met all these people. You didn't even mention like the education. You're like, you made all these connections and you did all this other stuff. So I'm guessing that a large piece of it was this ability to, do other things. I wasn't at the first event, Martha. Was it along your typical style of, we're definitely going to be working and we're also going to be doing some retreat stuff? Was it the same?
Yeah. Probably not as much as, but yes, definitely.
It was in, all I know, I was in a cabin. So all I know about was in a cabin. I've came a long way. Marty, you came a long way.
I don't think I can get Tom in those cabins these days.
I love cabins. Why? What was wrong with it? Are they like Stark or something?
I don't know.
Not quite bougie enough.
I
Not
don't
bougie enough. I got you.
but
Not like
either
where we're
way.
going. And
But that is true. Oh, Cancun and Victoria, where we're going in
Victoria.
Canada.
Yeah.
Top level.
Yeah.
And I saw your there are gold rooms that you can get to or something, right? So for the people who really love the bougie thing,
hey, listen, the gold rooms, I'm even doing a gold room just because you get your breakfast, you get all this included. So by the time it offsets each other.
And
so,
the gold room.
You don't have a gold room. You really want a gold room, Liz.
Yeah. The gold room has this gold floor that you have access to.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, this hotel, this different.
The coffee machine. The coffee machine is like as if you worked at Starbucks and had access to all that behind there. Yeah.
In your room?
No, in the common area.
Okay, because I'm like, you might have just sold me on that gold room right there.
Think of it this way, Liz. Like, when you're going into the airport and you know how you can go into the lounge.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Okay.
but just even another level of
Another notch up.
another level of that. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's what it is when you get
Go on.
access to the gold.
All right. Do you have any more rooms, Martha? Oh, look, Meg Likes Money is here. We're bringing her on.
Well, look at
It's
that.
okay that I'm late. I text Martha. I was like, I don't want to be disruptive, but I'm stuck on the phone.
Oh yeah, I'm
No, we're
busy,
just chatting.
Megan.
Yeah, you were busy.
It's tax time. You are busy.
I hate that part of my life. Look, there's paper. I'm allergic to paper. This is just terrible. Somebody take it away.
That's a lot. But it's like, is it end on the 15th or the 16th?
That is my goal this year. I
Okay.
told all my clients that if they did not have my information by March 10th, because I have 1 foot out the door. I've like been on the brink of death. So
Well, you're almost there. You're
Yeah.
so close.
so close. Are your books color coded, Liz?
Yes.
I love
I
it.
was no, y'all. I know everybody loves it, but I'm like, it's so horrible every time because I actually read my books. I actually like my books. I use them for reference. So every time I want to find a book, I have to go look it up on Amazon to see what it looks like, so that I can go find it.
So at my old house, I organized by color too. And the worst part is the spine color does not match the cover color sometimes. And
Oh my
so
gosh,
you
that's so
can't even
frustrating too. Or like this one whole shelf of like they're all different colors. Like every spine is like purple and yellow and gold. Where do those go? Where do those go? Anyway, yes, crazy. All right, so
live and what are we talking about? Did I just hijack a live meeting?
We're very much digressing.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hi,
really.
Dom. Hi, Dom.
No, we're really.
Hi.
Yeah. Megan, why don't you go ahead and give everybody on here just a quick how do you do, what you do. Also give me your in your private chat, give me your website, and I'll be posting those for everybody.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Megan Likes, and I am an accountant based out of Northern California and good friends with Dom and Martha. I have a couple of businesses. My primary one is Likes Accounting Company, where I help business owners kind of take the fear out of their finances by seeing the things that they can't see in their profit and loss statements and their balance sheets. Let's see. I also own a window cleaning company. So I'd like to say I'm in the cleaning industry, even though I'm not as cool as the people on this beautiful screen. I have learned so much from them about how to bring recurring services into my home service company. And from Martha, how to hold people accountable. And from Liz, how to train people. And from Dom, how to like charge what I'm worth and hold people accountable. So I love hanging out at conferences. And so Martha, so 2 years ago, quick aside, we had an international conference for QDS, and Dom gave a presentation on his software company back then called Hire Who. And I set up my entire applicant tracking system during that 2-hour workshop. And I've been running it ever since. The company has since sold and rebranded and gotten cooler, but everything I built during that workshop still exists. And I love that. Martha had quality-driven software. And she showed us how to use the HR module. And I have been tracking all of my HR issues within quality-driven software because of that one workshop 2 years ago. And then Liz and I met 4 years ago at the quality-driven conference when we did the day before thing that you did on training. So like how to build a training program and hold your team accountable. So I remember that was our first time ever. It's like, who are those people? They're not cleaning people. And that was Jeff and me. And yeah, that was a really fun event.
I don't remember ever thinking, who are those people? They're not cleaning people. I don't remember ever thinking that. Any y'all ever think that?
Everybody thought Jeff was a lawn care guy because he was in a flannel. So.
I did. I thought he was a lawn care guy. I was like, oh, all right, windows. Oh, that makes sense too, though. So, okay, so all we were talking about today is, well, not all. I mean, I think it's super. My cat is walking on. Did she lock me up? Yeah. Are y'all still there?
We can hear you. We're all here.
I wish I could. Here. All right. Well, I don't know what happened. She did something. I can't see you, but good. I'm glad y'all can see me. All right. Oh, okay. It's better. All right. So we're talking about how, this industry, a lot of small business industries, but this industry also has a tendency to overwork and not take time, and how work retreats is a way around that. Was it a cat?
No, I'm Megan. I'm pointing at Megan on my screen.
I just made a face about my overworking. Ironically, Dom would say I don't work enough. I think I just don't work smart. I don't know. But yes, as a whole, we need to take time. And these retreats are so helpful with that.
And people need to take more time. And then Martha just told us she's not doing this again. And so we're like, listen, we're talking about the value of work retreats. You do them better than anybody else. So what do you mean you're not doing them anymore? I'm like, all
But
right.
I'm so grateful because the way Martha sets these every other year ones up is you get it done. You don't go home with like a to-do list. It's like done. You build it and
I
then
do
you
love that too.
play and then it's done.
Yeah. And you have time to play also, which is the piece, right, that we're liking. So
That
Dom,
caused us tension because we were like, Martha, you're cutting into our learning time. And she's like, no, we're going to play. So I feel like this is your first time, Martha, where we were in conflict. Like Dom and I had an agenda and Martha had an agenda and we had to like negotiate about our joint agendas.
and
I
it
still
looked like
blew it up
Martha
last
won.
just because I could.
I feel like Martha won there, right? We have
Well,
Well, the agenda's changing.
but to be fair, typically, you weren't there last year, Liz, when I got called out by Ashley Matuska.
I was just going to say, like, if Ashley had it her way, what would it be, Martha, if it was Ashley's way?
Well, at least not starting before 10 a.m. But, so usually when I'm planning these events, and this one is labeled retreat, guys. So, but usually when I'm planning these events, I start with like a 9 to 4 or 9 to 5 kind of agenda.
Mhm.
And then I don't know, you meet a speaker and you're like, oh, I have to have you speak. And so then by the time it's all over, they're going 8 to 6, may or may not get lunch breaks, and that kind of thing. But this one,
Well, and till 6, I mean, Ashley's comment is like, Dom and I closed down bars with Ashley how many times last year, Dom? Like, we were out till 2 a.m. Oh, Dom doesn't drink publicly, but, we were out till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m.
So that's why she needs to start at 10.
Right.
Because,
So
yeah,
when she's asking for the 10 a.m. start, I was like, well, I know what you were doing at 2 a.m.
I mean, 8 o'clock in the morning is an early start.
she told me to know my audience
Yes.
and plan accordingly.
I got called out on that post this year by Sarah Mitchell. Said, Liz, you could learn something here. I have a tendency to start early as well.
So Liz, I was supposed to technically be the MC last year.
Thank you for sharing this story, Dom. I'm very proud of you.
And what had happened was we went and did some partying New Orleans is like no other place. We went and
Oh my gosh, it did.
that next morning, I didn't have a voice. Actually, I didn't have a voice the rest of the week.
And by the next morning, he means the first day of his first class of being MC. The man had no voice. He could not talk. And he wasn't like joking. He wasn't playing, like his voice was gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
Dom, did it come back? I don't think it came back.
No, I got to do better. I do. I got to do better.
You're on retreat this time.
When he tried to be MC this time, Martha and I were like, no, you can't be that.
We're not trusting you. You're not trusted to be an MC and keep your voice together. Oh my gosh. Okay, so talking about like the retreat. Okay, what a great show, Denise. Yeah, so much fun.
Hi, Denise.
Right?
Hi, Denise.
She loves to come on here too.
We're just having fun, Denise.
And she really loves that about Smart Business Moves when we have guests that are fun on.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to hear from y'all because you were also part of the group of people that was working too much, not taking enough time off, etc. So where did you find value in the idea of, two things. I've asked two questions and I haven't gotten answers. So I want to get those answers first. First one was Martha. Do you have any rooms left? Because Megan came right on as I
can probably beg for some.
Okay.
So there's
My-
rooms left. There's just the room block is closing out like ASAP.
Okay. So anybody that might want to do it needs to do it like right now if they want to be part of the main group that everybody else
Yeah.
is.
And the reminder, the room block is a discounted room. So it's slightly cheaper than online. And then if you're looking online, those are Canadian prices, not American prices. So don't
Right.
have sticker shock. Although the hotel is gorgeous. Dom, Martha, and I all went and stayed there last June. It's a beautiful hotel. So it's an experience. It's really the best hotel in all of Victoria. I will say
Yeah.
that.
It
And
goes
we
with our
explored lots of
retreat
them. Yeah, we
Yeah.
explored lots of them.
So we did hear that it has gold floor. It has a gold floor.
Did Dom
was
tell you
Dom
that?
said. Yeah.
Did Dom tell you that? Yeah, that sounds like a Dom thing to notice. I don't know if Martha and I noticed that, but Dom definitely noticed.
Yeah, definitely. That's what he said. I was like, a gold floor. Interesting. Okay.
When we toured that section, we were like, "Oh yeah, it's." We know who's staying here, but I can't say anything. I'm even staying there.
So am I. So
Yeah.
and
Everybody is.
It's
there's
worth
like
it.
there's a coffee area.
I already told her about the coffee.
So
I know.
I went again in February, and the bar area is so nice. Like the bar is just beautiful lounge, like one of the prettiest bars. And they had like a chocolate fountain going in the bar. I mean, and live music. It is just a whole experience.
It is. I
It is.
love Victoria.
Dom, did you hear we got the bingo room?
No.
There's like a very special room. Martha is like going all out. We have the library and we got this really, really like Cary Grant style, beautiful room. I mean, you're going to feel smarter just being in the room. Like that's how.
So I'm not bringing any kind of fancy clothes. Do I need to have fancy clothes? This place.
Well, I will
is
tell
really
you,
posh.
don't put your Vans up on the table. They'll scold you for that. So if that gives you some context,
How do you know about that, Megan?
I'm not sure. I maybe got scolded like an 8-year-old. What else? I did go to high tea there in February, and we were dressed very casually, like very
Okay.
normal. So
Okay. I was thinking I need to at least have a hat for high tea. Definitely
True.
gotta bring something.
you do need
Gotta
to
have a hat. I might even get some gloves just because it's fun.
Oh, but can we make
Sweat.
that a thing, Martha? Can we tell people to pack their tea hats?
Yeah, you betcha.
I love that.
Yeah, it's so
We
fun.
like things.
I
We're
bet
big
Dom
on
has
tea.
some fancy tea shoes or something, or a
I
tea
do.
watch or something.
I
Yeah, I
do.
bet you've got
No?
some.
Come on, you gotta have something. You got
A
some.
fedora or something.
No.
I
You
don't
can
think
get
I
it.
don't even know about that stuff. I don't
now
know.
Marvin on the other hand, Marvin will have a
Oh,
t-shirt.
Marvin has a hat for every day, so
Yeah.
he'll be
Yes.
set.
So he's already ready with his hat. Yeah,
Mm.
he can
Instead
get a
of
regular hat.
taking your hat off, you put it on for the restaurant.
Fun. That's why it's
Yeah.
fun.
Mm.
All right.
And did she
So,
tell you about? I know Liz, you don't drink, but did she tell you about the purple gin?
no.
So there's a special kind of gin made from this hotel, the Empress Hotel, and it's called Empress Gin, and it's made from pea flour, and it's purple, and it's beautiful.
From
So-
what kind of flour?
A pea, like a English pea, like a.
Never heard of it. Yeah.
It's very cool. So
Yeah.
the
All right.
special drink, even.
I
You
know.
can buy it all over. I mean, like it's not just local.
Okay. So everywhere. All right. And what's it called?
Empress, the name of the hotel, Empress Gin.
Empress Gin. All right, y'all. So I know I have a lot of friends that like to drink. So Empress Gin sounds like the way to go. And purple? Is it purple? Really?
You do? That's so weird. We don't have any friends like that. I don't know.
Lavender. It's like
It's like a
lavender.
lavender.
One. Okay. So I said I had 2 questions that I asked and I didn't get answered, right? Because we went off on a little
You got the
tangent
hotel
there.
one.
So we got that one. And then the other one was for you, Dom. And it just went out of my head. Do you remember what it was, Martha?
Was it about the speakers? The content?
Oh, I can't remember now. Oh, it'll pop in. You know how I'm not going to be able to talk because it keeps wanting to take.
Was it about? We were talking about how much I changed the trajectory of Dom's life.
It wasn't that, but I do love that. And
I want to know how did that happen?
We can't go backwards, Megan, because you were late.
I'm late. You're right. I'll hear about it later.
But we can add on to it because I think that is like a little bit of a piece. Hey, Drew. Drew's going to be there, right?
Drewski.
Did we talk about how Drew's beautiful wife is amazing and she's running?
We haven't talked about like concrete things yet. We've just been playing.
Yeah, we've just been like chatting. You've been on the meatiest part of the call, Megan.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I brought the meat. There you go.
Okay, so Dom, I do remember what my question was finally. My question was, you've been to like this, you said that before you didn't even know about the community, you didn't know about all this, you met all the people, etc. And so I thought maybe you could speak to how you said already that it just changed the trajectory of everything for you and gave you this whole brand new perspective, opened up the way of thinking. Your way of thinking. Can you talk a little bit about how, like what was it? Why should people look for events like this where they can have some downtime, just spend time meeting people and not only work?
Yeah. So, have you ever heard people say like, the power in, going to the conferences is really when you're socializing and you are at the bar or you're eating dinner together and you're just hanging out. That's really what it's about. So I think Martha does a really good job at her conferences by making it more of that rather than just a whole bunch of class sitting type of things. So I would say like every time I go to a conference now, that's what it's more about. I'm more anxious to get to an area where we can have conversations about each other's business and have a real dialogue rather than, just sitting there and listening to a presentation the whole time. So that's where I think the value is at. And that's why I think there's a huge value in the QDS conferences, because I think over time, like in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I think it was a lot more of classroom setting, right? And then year after year, there were a lot more activities and there were a lot more things because she started to figure out like, this is where the value lies.
Yeah. And nobody really has ever done it even close to as well as Martha's done it. Not even the people who have done some stuff where they're like, okay, we're going to make it fun and stuff. It's more fake fun. It's more hoopla. That's true though. But your events and the things that you do, it's funny because you actually provide true downtime value.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she forces it on us actually in like the most sweet way, like 80s party, luau, a second line. We had a brass band come into the hotel and escort us all out on a surprise adventure that ended in a hurricane cocktail at like the oldest hurricane established bar in New Orleans. Like she did that. Like she kidnapped us. She like forced it on us, but in the most warm and fuzzy way where you get to have conversations like, and those tables, I don't know, Dom and I we get to see Martha in a different way. When she goes to a hotel, she's not looking at the things everybody else is looking at. She's looking at like, well, where are they going to gather? Well, where are they going to hang out? Well, how big is that room? How big is like the table size? Like, where are they going to meet up for coffee in the morning and drinks after the sessions? Like, it's just so interesting. Martha's much more worried about the outside of the classroom time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's what you do so well, but I know you're not going to be doing that anymore, but tell us about that a little bit, Martha. Can you explain how did you recognize the value in that to such a larger degree than everybody else, and how you decided that you're going to bring this to life?
So I went to my first, what was ARCSI then. I went to my first ARCSI conference, and I'm sure it was part of ISSA, but I really just knew of ARCSI. And I went to that, and I'd been in business 2 weeks, and I remember going, and actually, I don't know if I've ever said this to you, but I went, it changed the trajectory of my life too. And I do talk about that, but so I didn't know anyone. I didn't even know, I knew nothing about cleaning products, nothing.
I love
All
that.
I knew was that I was ordering products from the clean team, and it was Gary Gorgonson back then. And I called and I was ordering products, and I'm like, is there any education anywhere? I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And she goes, well, there's a conference next week. I don't know that you'd want to go to that. And I'm like, where is it? And so I went, and I didn't know enough to ask one single question. But what I did was I went to classes. I remember Alonzo. I remember I was able to pick out who I wanted to listen to. Like you were in the hall, and as they still are, you're talking and everybody was listening, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna pay attention to her. Debbie Sardone was one, and that was before Debbie was doing any consulting or anything. Alonzo, those were I think you guys were the main ones, but that's what it did for me. Is right off the bat, I knew people that were good connections and were people that I wanted to hear more of. And then as I went to more and more artsy conferences, then I start telling Ernie, I'm like, Ernie, we need to do this. We need to do this, And one thing that I noticed is that, and it was really from that first one, what I noticed is that it was easy to not be part of the group. It was really easy to come and just do your thing. And then if you weren't seeking connections, you would not make connections. And so when I really couldn't get that part out of the ARCSI/ISSA conference, then I just thought, I'm going to make my own. And I will say another one that was really, really influenced what I did was the Service Autopilot conference, because I attended that conference and it's all lawn care for the most part.
Yeah.
I would say less than 5% of the attendees were from cleaning or anything else. And so, but what I realized is I would sit in the room and listen, and it was like on the same topic as what I'd heard before, but a whole different take.
Yeah.
On approaching that problem. Yeah. And so quickly I'm like, I love this, because by that time I had heard like kind of the same stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, I love being around other industries and hearing from other people, because they do like routing really well, and we do culture really well, and so I think that there's just a lot to mixing up the group, and I wanted to make it that whole experience where it would be pretty hard to come to a QDS conference and not be involved and not be part of the, so yeah, that was it.
And it would be also really hard to go to a QDS conference and concert, although they are, they always have some kind of music somewhere, right? And not make like connections, right? Also, people don't talk about this piece of it, I think, very much, but there's a lot of work. There's also downtime that's also work. It's like, downtime work, which is the part of the retreat. That's the part that I think that you do really well, is you keep it going. It is all work. It's just, it's less pressure. It's less like being force fed. It's more, we're sharing and
Yeah.
and so everybody's minds are more open. Everybody's more ready to absorb and to share. And, it's a much bigger impact than when it's just in a classroom, me absorbing this one little thing and okay, take as many notes as I can, and then close that folder and stick it up on a shelf somewhere. And then right. So I think that people, I know people have said many times over the years that the quality driven conferences are the best place to meet people and work hard, but also play. Have a lot of fun time, play time, and downtime.
Yeah.
The Amazing Race was like one of my favorite things. Oh, Liz, do you remember? Liz and I ended up in that calendar. I mean, it was so fun, and the teams, it was so fun. Martha, that was so much work, but it was one of the most incredible things. I've never seen any conference come close to that Amazing Race.
Not even
that's probably my highlight of the thing. I mean, I think I almost cried after it was over that I could pull it off, because it just was way more complicated than I thought it would be. And, in fact, when my husband left for work this morning, I said, "Don't worry, sweetie. It's a special night tonight." And he looked at me and I go, "It's Amazing Race."
Okay. I can't believe that you didn't think it was going to be that complicated.
I know.
Not believe that went off the way it did. How did you make that happen? That was, I was completely expecting it to just,
I was afraid. I was super afraid, but and there were some near fights on. I remember. Oh yeah, like at the double U-turn board. That wasn't pretty. And then in one of the rooms, I had a local friend who volunteered. She's a dear friend of mine, and it was her husband's first time to come to one of the events, and I had him planting flamingos all over the place and all. And he was like, at like 6:30 in the morning on his vacation. But my dear friend was manning the room, and she had the matching game, and she had someone in that room that didn't quite like the rules. And finally my friend goes, "I'm on vacation volunteering. Do what you want."
I mean, if that was the worst thing that happened, really, that's kind of crazy. How everybody got through that whole thing, that was, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was so fun. And I think that's the same year that you had the luau.
Right? It was. Yeah.
And the 80s party.
Oh my gosh, the 80s party too. Oh my
and
gosh.
Paul and Dom did the Cult of Brands, right?
Yeah, that was a good one.
They came in and tasted.
That was so good.
So good. Like, we talked about that talk for a long time, Dom.
Yeah, that was probably the highlight. Dom, you were probably the favorite.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they weren't. That was amazing.
That was good.
So good. Really good.
That was a good conference for sure. That was a good one.
But sounds like this one that we're going to is going to be amazing. Talk to us a little bit about, for the people that haven't heard about the one that's coming up here. I know you don't have a lot of room, but talk to us a little bit about like your planning, how you came up with what you wanted to do. Give us all the inside juicy stuff.
So I will say, the weird thing about me is when I travel, I really am looking at, it's always in the back of my mind that whether or not it would be a good retreat or a good conference location. And so, my kids live in Seattle. I wanted to go to Vancouver. anyway, my oldest was like, okay, Mom, we'll go to Vancouver, but I think you'd really like Victoria. And I was kind of dead set on I wanted to go to Vancouver, but she convinced me, thankfully, she convinced me to just spend one night there and the rest of the time in Victoria. And I remember when we pulled up to Victoria and like just pulling up in the ferry, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I just had that, this is amazing. And right then I knew I have got to have a conference there. And I was already thinking about winding it down. And then, it was like, oh, I can't quit until I have, a conference here. So that's how that came about. But yeah, it's quickly become really one of my favorite places.
So I don't know about the rest of y'all, but did y'all hear what I heard? If you come up with the most amazing place and you show it to Martha, this might not be the last one. That's what I heard. Is that what y'all heard?
That's totally what I heard, because Martha, she did this with New Orleans too. I'd never been to New Orleans, and Martha talked me into going hotel shopping. And then I went to New Orleans 3 times in 1 year, and the exact same thing happened with Victoria. This will be my 3rd time to Victoria in less than a year, because when she tells you you're going to love it, she's not joking.
She means you're going to love it.
You're going to love it. I do have a bit of a beef, though, because it will be my 3rd time to Victoria, and I still have not seen the cute little water taxi ballet.
I know. That's on Sundays.
I know.
Over there on Sundays.
I know.
But yeah, so I don't know. Should we talk about the conference, the retreat?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's long. It's May 5th. You come in on a Sunday to Seattle, unless you already live there. And Sunday, we arrive in Seattle. I'm telling people to get there early enough so that especially if you've never been to Seattle, we'll fit in some quick sightseeing. Try to get there by noon or 1, which is doable since a lot of people are coming from East Coast, etc. And we're going to go to the Space Needle, Chihuly Gardens. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Chihuly. Oh my gosh, so amazing.
Yeah. And then kind of walk in that downtown Pike's Place area, because where we're eating dinner as a group that night is called Kel's Irish Pub and Restaurant or whatever. But it's right there in that Pike's Place area. Mm-hmm. And then that next morning, we have to start heading over. Some of us will walk with our suitcases. Some of us won't. And we will go to the ferry terminal, and we're going to catch the ferry at 8 a.m. And then it takes about 3.5 hours to get to Victoria. You have to go through customs. It's pretty light, and you do have to have a passport or enhanced driver's license, but that's just for Washington residents, isn't it?
Yeah, I know that's what we have. Yeah.
And so then we basically go across the street, and our hotel is there, and it's the Fairmont. It's a Fairmont brand, which is a really nice 5-star brand, and it's called the Empress. And we'll check in. We're going to immediately have lunch, check in. Official check-in time isn't till I think 4. So you may get in your room, you may not. And you may actually be sightseeing before you ever get in your room, because around 2, we're going to go on one of those double-decker buses. And I put that on that first day so everybody can kind of get the lay of the land and see where Chinatown is, see where Fisherman's Wharf is, see all the different areas. So then you know what you want to go back to. And then that night, you've seen in the Facebook group, I've been crazy about getting people to make reservations for this restaurant. the three of us went to this restaurant. I waited too long to get my family to go there, but then the three of us went, and it was so good. And it's crazy. I mean, it's already looking pretty booked. And it's one of those you set on your calendar a month from now and it's like checking in for your Southwest flight if you didn't purchase early bird.
Yeah, that's not good. All right. So I don't think you've gone crazy posting that, because I haven't booked a reservation. So you obviously have not gone crazy.
Everybody that saw it, I said to try to get as many seats as you can, so that, and they'll take some walk-ins too. It's just that, but anyway, so that's Monday night. Tuesday we have
y'all, I just gotta say real quick, did y'all hear all of that stuff? Yeah, that's Monday.
Also, did you hear the fact that you've been away from home for 36 hours and there's been no class yet? Anybody else see that? But the ferry is really good social time. Like Dom and I had a great ferry ride on our way over to the island. The beautiful, on the way there, it was great. On the way back,
it was great too.
It was fun, but we're not going to go there. But
they weren't talking there. They weren't talking to each other.
Maybe related to the suitcase and the walking. I'm not sure. But the ferry time is great time. We're going to be all sitting near each other. We're going to be socializing. There's a bar, there's a restaurant, there's like lots of things that you can do on the ferry. And then, the hop on and hop off bus, like you're sitting next to somebody, right? You don't know who you're going to sit next to on the bus. It's going to be you're going to have friends before the conference even starts.
Mm-hmm. I love that. It's very casual.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so before we move on, so I'm driving up there. So should I be bringing my car on the ferry, or should I park in Seattle?
You're going to need to park. You can't, on this ferry, you can't bring your vehicle. It's a passenger ferry only. So I'll give you go to victoriaclipper.com or something, and it'll tell you where to park.
Okay, cool.
And
you're not going to need a car once you get there, unless you don't like walking from like a little bit, but I think you will be fine. It's a really safe and wonderful place, and the walkings.
Bring your jackets. Okay, don't assume that it's going to be warm there.
No. And that is true. I would say that's the only possible downside of Victoria is we went early June and it was still cool. Now
by cold, some of us might say cold.
It was.
All y'all Southerners are going to say ice cold, frigid. Make sure you have a scarf and your heavy jacket, not a light like
maybe a beanie and maybe some mittens.
Yeah.
That's for weather.
And
then it was like one day it was extremely warm and sunny. Like when we went to the gardens,
it
was a beautiful day.
Sunny.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
So it's like here in Indiana, our weather can change every day.
Yeah. So do be prepared for that, and it is Pacific Northwest, so could be misting, could be anything, but that's just part of it, part of the adventure.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready for Tuesday?
Yeah. Okay.
Tuesday, we have like a presentation, an hour presentation, and then we have 4-hour workshops.
Okay.
And so we have a 4-hour workshop each day, I should say. And Megan's trying to slip in a little extra stuff here and there. And
I've got like 5 things I'd like to add, and she's telling me no. So I think I've only negotiated one, but the content's going to be great. I mean, you guys are coming for the content. It's there, and then the socialization, and then we've really worked with our speakers to be available. So they're going to be at the bar. They're going to be bus. They're going to be at the dinner. They're going to be at the lunch. Like, it's not like the speaker comes in for an hour and then zooms out. They're there with you for most.
Right. I think that's what's going to be really different about this year, is because we are kind of vacationing together and have the retreat sessions during the day. Everybody's together, including the speakers and stuff. So, but anyway, so Tuesday night we have a group dinner in Chinatown. Wednesday and Thursday we have our retreat sessions. Wednesday, Breakthrough Academy is sponsoring a happy hour at this one of our favorite places. It's called Bard and Banker, and it's a bank that's like, it's an old bank. Over the building's over 100 years old. You walk inside and it's just gorgeous. And anyway, they're providing happy hour snacks and drinks. And then
Best poutine on the island, I think.
Oh,
And we went there at least twice in the 3 days we were there together.
yeah, it's good.
really good.
It's good. Thursday, the retreat sessions. So Thursday night, we were doing the water taxis, and we were doing what they call the pickle crawl, which, like Megan will tell you, has no pickles. And
But Liz has a thing for pickles. We could bring pickles, Liz. I don't know. I feel like there's something with Liz and pickles. We could sort that out.
we're going to sub in. So I have to plan these events a year in advance. Like, I typically I'm announcing next year's event at this year's. And so in order to do the pricing and do everything I need to do, I've got to know what the agenda is. And so anyway, a year ahead of time, there was such a thing as the pickle crawl with the water taxis, and they would take you to different areas of the town. And now there's still the water taxis, but you can't get a group on the pickle crawl. So you can take the water taxis that night. We're going to sub the next day. We're going to Bouchard Gardens, which is about 30 minutes away. You've got a bus that will take you there. You guys describe the gardens. Like, when I told you were going to go see gardens, were you like me and thought, okay, I'm going to go see some flowers? You know?
I'll let Dom answer and then I'll answer.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought, but then you go and it looks like that.
Yeah. It's,
yeah.
that's
From
the
when the minute you arrive, I was like, Martha, I'm in heaven. Martha,
Yeah.
this is amazing. We were just like in awe. It was beautiful.
It's
Yeah,
like,
if you've never been, you definitely gotta go one time to really experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And really, one thing that's amazing about the Butchart Gardens is it does not matter what time of year you go.
Yeah.
The experience is always amazing. It's like so, it's hedonistic almost. And the smell, I mean, it's just gorgeous there. I know.
Really, you haven't, at least for me, I've never seen depth in flowers like you see there.
Yeah.
I took so many pictures, and I am not a flower person. And I was just like, I don't know how they get that, that depth was what really amazed me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're already at the gardens that was planned, but since the pickle crawl got axed, we're going to sub, which is a great sub. We're going to sub high tea at Bouchard Gardens, and because we're there anyway. And Megan went to the one at the Empress and the one at Bouchard Gardens, and she said she liked it at the gardens better.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We had, the three of us had a great tea. Like, even Dom Grumpy Pants over there, he it was a really fun tea. Like, we had a great time.
I think it's fun. Every time I go on a cruise, I hit high tea every day.
When you said that, I thought, I didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah. Well, I go on Princess, and so
Oh,
maybe it's not on all of them, but it is on Princess. All right. Well, I'm super excited that y'all were able to come on here today and
Yeah, it
talk
was
about,
fun.
work retreats. Yeah, it was fun, right?
We didn't even talk about the education.
Well,
This is,
There's some education, y'all.
yeah,
great.
just assume
Lisa's doing
that
a
it's
workshop.
great content.
Lisa's doing a great workshop. We've got some really cool speakers. One thing I like about Martha is we find people that maybe you haven't seen before, maybe you haven't heard about, and they're going to talk about, like, we're bringing a therapist.
Yeah, there's one day you're going to cry
Don't say that.
at both
Oh, God,
sessions.
Don't, Martha.
Dom, I'm going to be your partner, and I'm going to make you cry.
Oh my
Why do you want to see me
gosh.
cry?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I kind of feel like we probably could sell more tickets knowing that you're going to make Tom cry.
That's right. That's right. Take one for the team.
Yeah. Okay. So we do have to go, but you did hear Martha say that everything's actually sold out. But if you're interested, it sounds like something that would be amazing. It's the last one, y'all. Then, hit her up ASAP because she can probably make her magic happen. But you're going to have to do it.
I will give it my best shot.
All
Come
right.
hang out with us. It's how we all became friends, really. I mean, it is really how that happened. So come hang out with us. We'd
So
love to see you.
exciting. Yeah, have fun and take a break. Take a break and work at the same time. Work retreats. All right, y'all. Thanks, everybody. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.